Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to European Racing Series Tier 2. This is round number 9, and for those of you that are wondering, yes, I have fully woken up. It is a rerun of the Canadian Grand Prix. There was some issues with the lobby last week, quite a few people disconnected in a variety of tiers, so the admins of European Racing Series, ERS to be exact, have decided to rerun the Canadian Grand Prix for all tiers this week with the same weather conditions, and they're going to be rerunning qualifying as well. So some of it's going to be a repeat of last week, but I'll try and make it completely different. But it's going to be a completely different race, a different mentality as well, and some exciting things going on as well. It's a circuit that I like. I'm a fan, definitely loves it, and drivers like it as well. In particular in 2011, where we saw Jenson Button overtake Sebastian Vettel to get the win after making 6 pit stops. Crazy. Now, Montreal is 4.3 kilometers long, 14 turns, 6 to the left and 8 to the right. There are 3 DRS zones for overtaking, 1 at the start finish straight, 1 going into the final quick chicane of turns 13 and 14, and 1 last one after turn 7. So, without further ado, guys, are we ready to kickstart qualifying? I know I am, so we're going to go and get started right now. So if I just do this, there we go. That's the puppy. I almost forgot to unmute the sound. So we are going to go on board with someone who is about to start a lap, which is Meto in the McLaren, who I believe is reserving tonight. So let's go on board. So you're going past turn 1, brake at the Homia board on the right. Now going to turn 2, lowers 45 miles per hour just past there. Now going through to turn 3 and 4. Going into 5th gear here, around about 130 miles per hour. Then going to 6th gear. Turn 5 is pretty much flat out. The only thing you brake is into turn 6. Next is a DRS zone, as Meto has just bended there. So unfortunately, the curse does continue of me trying to commentate on an outlap, but failed. So I do apologise about that. It doesn't seem to go my way in terms of outlaps, really. Really sad. But anyway, there's a few guys that probably believe that the race has been rerun, but there's some other people that are probably not as relieved, because they will have to think, basically, they've got to try and hopefully that their luck continues to go really strong and not make the same mistakes again. Even though it's the same weather, there are certain bits that may come at different times. Let's see how Pazik does on his lap. Hopefully, Pazik does not curse me and actually does a proper lap. So, you just passed turn 1 and 2. And it's going to be a brief uphill sprint down here into turn 3 and 4. Make sure you stay off the grass coming up here. That's going to be very costly if you don't get that right. Now, heading in towards turn 6 and into turn 7. Clip the curb on your right as you hit into turn 7. Now you're going to go to the DRS straight here, which is very long. Here you need to brake just as you go under the bridge. You should aim to lean on the inside curb of turn 8 without touching the orange sausage curb. Now, inside of turn 9, you lay down the power through the corner. As soon as your car's landing on the ground, you should be at maximum throttle. And then 100 meter board, you'll need to brake for turn 10. Hairpin, which is very tricky. And now you're going to be going into the next DRS straight of the circuit. Full power here, going at almost 200 miles per hour. And then going towards turn 11 and into 12 and 13. Trying to avoid the Wall of Champions, which is very tricky, I've got to say. And here we go. So Pazik has set in a pole time, actually, of a 1 minute 8.8. So I wonder if a few people have optimized their setups to be a lot better than last week. So we may see some better laps, or we may see some worse laps. But just for those of you that don't know about the weather situation, it's going to be dry for the start of the race, then it's going to be light rain, then it's going to be dry, as it was last week. Just to make it fair, I would have liked it to be on Dynamo this week because it's a full rerun, but you know, we want to replicate what we did last week and hopefully no issues. And for those of you that don't know, there was a performance patch that came out yesterday. It was kind of a big patch, actually. To be honest, I had to install it on all platforms I used. I completely forgot about PC, so I had to do it on the PC early this morning before I went out. So, yeah, but there was also other new fixes as well, where when you rejoin the session, you won't get corner cutting glitch, which means you will get some warnings still. I wonder how that's going to work. I wonder if people are going to try it out. It's one of those leagues where you don't get disqualified for doing that, so they can try it anyway. Now, last week, this man did really, really well. He had some bad luck at times, but the strategy worked well ever so slightly. He was the one that suffered from disconnect. He's on pole for the time being, and he's been trying to stay confident. He didn't want to do this race again, but, you know, you got to do what you got to do, and hopefully he's going to show that he is one to watch out for. Bitto is probably relieved as well in fourth. And this is a track where, if it's a normal dry race, you wouldn't go for the two-stop. But you would probably try and go for the alternate strategy around here. Maybe start on the medium, see how long the rain lasts. Because you never know, the rain may came out a little bit later than last week. So don't expect it to come at the same time, because otherwise there's going to be some issues. Bitto is our current championship leader, by the way, with 147 points. Let me just go on board with a lap with Bitto then. There we go. Whilst we go through the championship standard. It's the same as last week, because obviously the race got called off as Bitto was just invalidated in turn 1. So let's go on board with Sig instead. There we go. So we got Alex Bitto with 147 points. He's your championship leader. Second place is Cryptic with 106 points. Third place, I need to actually move my mic. There we go, that's better. Third place is Manello Baby with 98 points. Fourth place is Dragon with 4 points. Unfortunately, he's not very well tonight, so he can't make it. Get better soon, by the way, Dragon, if you're watching this. Fifth place is TX606 with 56 points. Sixth place is Six. Wait, what are you on about? Sixth place is Sig, sorry. Sigo with 51 points. Seventh place is Pazik with 50 points. Eighth place is Higgsy with 27 points. Ninth place is Calusa with 26 points. And 10th place is Ryzen with... Sorry, I need to move. My stuff is getting crazy. Anyway, with 17 points. 11 is Bert with 14 points. 12th place is Nixana with 12 points. 13th place is Max Fawn with 9 points. 14th place is Set with 7 points. 15th place is Verstappen with 6 points, joint with Black Sheep. I'm not sure if Black Sheep's here tonight though. Need to double check that though. 17th place is Furball with 5 points. 18th place is Sleep with 1 point, joint with Hydrodan Gaming on 1 point, with Terrible Bob yet to score. And I believe Sig did just do a lap whilst I was going through the standings. So I will go on board with another person that's on a lap, which is Calusa. Calusa in the Alfa Romeo for the rest of the season now. And he needs to get some good results. He's got beaten the points 4 times this season. He got P5 in Vietnam, P7 in China, P6 in Spain, and P9 in Monaco. And he got a... Obviously, he did not start in Baku. He got 12th in Zandvoort, a 13th in Bahrain, and a 12th in Australia. I nearly said Australia as Azerbaijan. So I wonder if tonight is going to be the night where he's going to change all that and have some luck. I've been saying that about a lot of drivers recently, and guess what? I absolutely jinxed them. So let's hope I don't jinx them, because otherwise it's going to cause a little bit of issues. Now, remember last week we did see some safety cars due to the playing shady conditions, because it started off really sunny and then it went overcast quite quickly, and then it went to light rain, then it went to overcast. So, and the people made a lot of mistakes which caused a safety car, and it was right before the guys had to pit. We may not see that today. These guys may need to go more with their gut feeling tonight. They may not rely on the safety car more often. They're probably going to hope the safety car comes, but For some of them, they may just think that it's not going to happen. So watch out. Like I said earlier, it's definitely not going to be exactly the same to last week. So watch out. Watch out a little bit and you should be absolutely fine by that. Rise is on pole though. He's doing very well in the Racing Point. Almost called the Racing Point Force India. That's not what I wanted to call it, but there we go. 1084. We did see a few people go into the 107s last week. I wonder if we're going to see exactly the same here tonight. You never know. And it just gives me an idea of what to expect in terms of pace, really, for these guys. And everybody apart from Bob on the softs. Actually, Bitto's going on the softs now. So Bitto is not pressing on his laurels. He was near the bottom in qualifying last week, and he does not want to do the same this week. He's getting a tow from his teammate, Terrible Bob, which is nice to see as he goes, while Terrible Bob goes into the pit lane. Is it going to make a difference on this lap? Quite a bit, actually. He improved by 2 tenths, a 108.666. What a nice rounding number as he cuts the corner just to make sure he gets into the pit lane just in time. Burke's in fourth as well. Burke is another one of these drivers that hopes for much better luck. We are hoping the timing glitch is fixed, but I'm not getting any high hopes. Well, the spectator timing glitch, because it was fine in lap 1, because usually it causes trouble in lap 1 when I was commentating yesterday. And I was like, yes, okay, it's gonna work now. I'm feeling optimistic. And then around lap 2, lap 3, it was like, it decided not to show me any doubters, and people were moving all over the place, which was a bit annoying, but at least it was better than last week. It's not completely fixed, but it's not better. It's a lot better, if that makes sense. I was worried I was sounding like a robot, but luckily I was not sounding like a robot, as a few more people are about to go on their outlaps. Pazik and Verstappen still out on circuit then. So I wonder if they're going to be very comfortable with their lap, because obviously we are approaching the calm before the storm phase really, really soon. And that is where the track is going to be at its very best. You want to be going as late as you possibly can. I would say roughly about 2 minutes, I would say, would be the best time. However, you got to avoid the traffic, really. If you don't avoid the traffic, then it's going to cause a little bit of a situation where it could be like a Monza 2019 situation where people just can't get a lap done. But anyway, Verstappen crosses the line and he goes P4 with a 108.7. So most of these laps not quite what we saw last week, but a chance for more people to do well. So I think Verstappen will be going out again. Sig, Terrible Bob, Valio and Kalusa is on their out laps. Pazik has just gone on fastest with a 108.381. That's pretty good as well. And what I've noticed as well in the timing sheet is Meto has been disqualified. I wonder, I think from what I've heard, it was probably parked in a dangerous location, but I'm not sure where it was. So I will need to check the Discord Tier 2 chat about that one, just to find out whether what's happened with that. Because no one wants to be disqualified. I mean, it's out of, well, basically things out of their control. It's very, very annoying otherwise. So, something that Meta has got to live for. But maybe starting at the back around Canada is not necessarily a bad thing. So, Bitter about to start his lap. Ben can't improve any further. So, he retires in the pit lane by the sounds of things. Or did he retire in the wall? I don't know. I can't really tell at the moment. But everybody else is about to finish. It's a time where People are eyeing up their competition. Ryzen has just gone purple in sector 1, so that's very, very impressive for him. What about Pazik as he's about to start? No, he's not. He's going into the pits then. So I'm guessing he left it too late or invalidated, so he's not going to have enough time to set one final lap, and that is a shame for him. And we got Bito in 4th, who's just going into sector 2 and towards turn 9 and into turn 10. Purple sector 2. Sometimes, though, there is issues where it says purple sector 2 for majority of people, but actually it isn't. But for the likes of Bito, I'm probably going to think that it is definitely purple, I've got to say. So, here we go then. Bito going to cross the line, as I was trying to move my mic so I can actually get a bit of... so I can actually relax a little bit better. There we go. Bito goes into P2 right now. We got a few people about to cross the line, actually. We got the Mercedes, who's going into the pit lane, so he can't improve. Next will be Kalisa. He can't improve either, so he goes in. Quite a lot of people going in the pit already. Next cross the line will be Nixana, as the checker flag has dropped. He can only manage 5th place. Next we have Cryptic, the Red Bull driver who decided enough's enough. He goes into the pit lane. Then we got the McLarens of TX looking quite well so far. He was pole with quite a bit of the session, but unfortunately he is not going to stay there. Stays in 4th place. Bito is slowing down, so he's not going to improve by quite a bit. So that just leaves his teammate. He could do it, actually. He could do it. But he's going to be in danger of being on 1 lap older tyres compared to his rivals, but it depends on where he qualifies. And he's run out of fuel, so it doesn't matter for him anyway. So Ryzen goes into the pits, but that is the best decision, because obviously Ryzen is starting on pole. And luckily no timing glitch where people did an extra lap, because that was a waste of time last week, I've got to say. So that's good. So anyway, we are about to get started with the race. And what a good qualifying session is for Ryder. 1/10 exactly separating between him and Bito. Then we got Pazik in 3rd. TX in 4th place. Then we have Nixana in 5th with his teammate in 6th. We got an AlphaTauri 3rd row. Burke in 7th. Cryptic 8th. Kalisa 9th. Sig in 10th. And we got Tailbob in 11th. Balu 12th. Sleeps 13th. Set 14th. And Meto 15th. And 3 people did not set a time there. A bit of a shame. And now all just left for me to do is for you to get your predictions in the chat. Who you think is going to be doing well in the race. And you can see with how it's going, it's dry at the moment. But, however, don't be fooled with the dry weather, folks. Just don't. Don't be fooled. Because it's going to get a hell of a lot interesting, like you saw last week. And I feel gutted that I'm being spoiled in the weather, but that means when we go back to France next week, I should let the weather have a little bit of a surprise, to be honest, which is quite good. So, we're just waiting for all the drivers to ready up and get started with their qualifying session. So we should be underway really, really soon. So do watch out for that. It's going to be very, very exciting. So, oh, I didn't mean to do that. So please watch out. So we've got a prediction in the chat that Cam has predicted, like Shapeshifter Guy is his Twitch account, so welcome. He predicts that whoever is first in the standings will win. So at the moment, Bito is first in the standings. Wait, what? I thought it was Ryzen. Wait. I'm confused here. I'm a bit confuzzled. Or Bitto might have got pole last minute, I don't know. But I will have to check that, because we had a similar situation in the league I commentated yesterday, where someone who qualified in P2 ended up starting the race in last place, and that was very, very weird. But it's probably me not paying attention at all. So that is very, very odd otherwise. Or it might just be me seeing things. But however, I'm not going to dwell on it. Just, oh, okay. So, basically, Ryzen got a 10-place grid penalty. Ooh. So we must collide with someone then. I did not see that pop up on my screen. So, that is why he's so far down. So thank you very much, Izzo, for clearing that up. I thought it was just me seeing things for a minute. So, looking at the tyres, top 5 on the softs. Cryptic on the mediums. Pazik on the softs. Cliss on the softs. Sig on the softs. Then we've got Terrible Bob on the mediums. Ryzen on the softs. Value on the mediums. Sleeps on the mediums. Set on the hards and Metal on the hards. So a different mix of strategies here today. But we are about to get underway with some racing. 5 red lights, and it is lights out. And away we go. Bitto's got a huge, almighty start into turn 1, and looks like the timing glitch has not been fixed in that one on PC. So that's a bit of a shame. But Bitto is already leading the field away from TX. Ben is all the way up into 3rd place. Actually, I don't know what has happened to these guys, so we'll have to wait until the timings change quite a bit, because otherwise there is going to be some issues as the timings refresh all over the place. But we are starting to see some battles forming. TX has got one of the Alphatowers of Nixana right behind him, who is looking to chase him right now. We got a yellow flag, which is a McLaren of Meto, who just went off a little bit. He's further away compared to everybody else at the moment, but never say never. In Formula 1, anything can happen as the race goes on. So do watch out for these remaining laps. And we're not on lap 2, by the way. We're on lap 1. Just to let you know, because I know a few of you would probably get a bit confused there. So Bitto, a 1 minute 16.091 was his first lap, and we're starting to see more moves going down the field as Ryzen and Sleet are in the pit. So Ryzen is continuing his bad start. He had a penalty in qualifying, didn't let his basic mindset, well, didn't have a good mindset going into the race, and to be honest, that costed him quite a bit, and he's down in 2nd to last. Now, I think Ryzen has got a long pit stop, and he is going on the mediums, whereas Sleep is on the soft compounded tyres. Meanwhile, we got Pazik in the battle for Cryptic, the closest battle we're seeing on track right now. No DRS enabled yet, so they're going to rely on Slipstream, but you can do it on the back straight as early as you can. Some of these guys are going to hope that there basically is no more issues, but sometimes you just don't get that at times, do you? Meanwhile, 1.2 seconds is the gap. Bitto is completely free of DRS, so he doesn't have to worry about defending very much. He can concentrate on dominating like he's done quite a few races this season. And Ixana in 3rd place, doing quite well as well, but he's got his teammate chasing down his mate. I wonder if there's going to be any team orders that's going to come into fruition, because we're like that in the real Formula 1. We've seen that quite a few times around here with Ferrari, but I think the team bosses in the AlphaTauri camp is probably just going to let them race, most likely. That's what I would do. So that is probably what they are going to be doing as well. And speaking of that, I was completely wrong when that happened. I think Nixana let his teammate through, or they might have had a cheeky battle because, I don't know, but I know what Nixana did last week was he let his teammate through because obviously he was faster. So it's great to see Nixana play in the team game. I wonder if these guys are in a team party together, because team communication is ever so crucial, because it's not just about the drivers' championship, it is also about the good old constructors as well. You get pride if your team wins the constructors championship. That's one of the championships where I would like to win so badly, and the reason why I would have wanted to win this championship in the first place is mainly because it's showing that obviously you and your teammate are consistent, and you can work well, and you are good friends potentially as well. Well, you learn to be good friends. Meanwhile, Pazik looking on the back of Bert by the looks of things, but Pazik stays out as Bert goes into the pit. So I'm going to see where that leaves him. And he's got to change a front wing. So he has got front wing damage, ladies and gentlemen. That is not good for the Mercedes driver. The Mercedes team expected bigger things for this driver. He said, you know what, I would give you the benefit of the doubt, but unfortunately his consistency has let him down a bit, and he's probably going to be fighting for last place. Softs is the tyre he's going to go on for. Softs lost 11 laps around here, so for the likes of Berg and Sleep, he's going to hope that the soft tyres last enough until the rain period. Lap 18 was when it came out last time. Will it came out a similar time again? I think around about lap 19. I'm going to say a lap later. I'm going to say a lap later than before. Generally because every lobby is not the same. And we've got Nixana that's in the pit as well. So here comes Nixana. Does he have a change of front wing? Yes, he does. So he has got damage as well. So quite a lot of people getting damage. More people than last week. So some people need to avoid becoming complacent because something like this happens with your car. As you can see, is he going to get ahead of Burke? I don't think so. There's a very short pit exit. Yeah, Nixana does get ahead of Burke, only just. But Burke is going to be absolutely catching on those soft compounder tyres. And I wonder how these guys are going to think. We've got yellow flag set to 2 and set to 3. But unfortunately, the game is not telling me who they are. DRS is activated. Then you can only use it when you are within a second of each other. And that is what Paddock is trying to do to Cryptic. He is fighting with every nail, every bean at the moment. And I probably butchered that saying, so I do apologise about that. We're already on lap 7. People, if it was a dry race, would be thinking about pitting right now, maybe pitting for the undercut. But it was like, if I was them, maybe stretch it out just a little bit more, go on the mediums, and then you should be ready for the intermediate conditions. Or maybe go on the softs as Verstappen is doing. I wonder if it was a change of front wing. Let me have a look. It was impossible to tell, so the only way I'm going to check to see if it was a change in front wing was the pit stops. So let me go on F5, race director, and pit stops. And it was a change in front wing. So everyone that's pitted so far has had a change in front wing. That could be very costly towards the latter half of this race because, you know, the undercut when you go into the pit is not going to be as high, very sadly, right now. So that's why he is in last place for now. But he's on the softs. He could try and concentrate and make sure that he is fast. And you never know. He could play the same course last week, take the gamble on the inters, and it will pay off. So maybe that's why he's not too disheartened by the whole situation. 1.6 seconds now is the gap between Bitto and TX for your race lead. Yellow flag in sector 1. That is Burke once again, who's binned it in turn 4 by the looks of things. So that is very scary without any shape of the imagination. So Burke's got to get a move on. And if I was listening, and if I was Burke, I would not give up. Because a lot of people could capitalise on the changing weather conditions. Quite a few people could maybe get the strategy wrong. There was a few times where in China where there was a wet to dry session, I got it completely wrong. So it is not over, and I hope Burke and Verstappen and Sleeps and Ryden is listening to that. Meanwhile, Valu is on the charge right now as Sig has binned it in turn 1. Unfortunately, couldn't quite get to grips with his new tyres, and Burke's out the race. Unfortunately, he didn't listen to my advice. And will it cause a safety car? I don't think it will, because he is in the pit lane. And we got Sig trying to have a battle with Nixana for 10th. Doing pretty good, to be honest with you. And then Bitto is just minding his own business and having his own space for pretty much the whole race right now. And Sig is probably ghosted. So it's either he disconnected himself, or the controller has had a bit of a hissy fit. Now, some of these guys have not made a pit stop yet. I will have to check which one of the guys has not made a pit stop. So, let me have a look. So, basically everyone that's got damage is pitting, just like Sig. And everybody else getting that undercut sorted. And we just had a little bit of a inside source information. Thank you to Sun Squad. So thank you. Or Sun Quad, sorry. Bert was having some FPS drops on every corner exit. So he had to retire the car. That is really sad. But I don't think he would have continued with that. So that is obviously not a punishable offence. So he did very well to try and drive with that, but I'm guessing he just had enough. It was Australia where I was running on 30 FPS for about 10 laps. It was not good. And to be honest, I would never want to do that again. Never want to do that again. Meanwhile, Cryptic is on a charge here today. He's looking to score some points like he did last week before the race didn't happen. And looking to do the battle with championship rival Bitto. Cryptic can close into Bitto if he wins this. The race victory is far from over here in Canada. And we're starting to see more gaining positions as well. So who has gained the most positions so far? So, Cryptic has gained 4. Hazik's gained 4. Kalissa's gained 3. Terrible Bob has gained 4. Sector's gained 7. Valor has gained 4. Ryzen has gained 1, even after starting from lower down due to his grid penalty. And Meto's gained 4. Verstappen has dropped down 8. He's been the biggest loser. Sig has dropped down 5. TX has dropped down 2. But don't forget, there was a few people that appeared, just like Valu. Now, is it going to be the first stop where it is completely just tyres? No. He had to put on a new front wing as well. So could it be that the Wall of Champions is pretty much claiming a lot of victims tonight? I think it could, and to be honest, in a race that I did in Canada quite a few times, I did hit the Wall of Champions, and one of which did not go down so well. I was on simulation damage. I just got a note for you guys. Do not go on simulation damage around Canada. It can cost you so much time. You probably have to be a little bit more cautious if you're not good at racing. And we do have a yellow flag in sector 3, which is, I think, Meto. Actually, no, it's not Meto. Meanwhile, we got a few people going into the pits. A few people changing their front wings, which means we could see a different leader. DRS disabled. I did not see... That is probably the quickest I've ever seen rain come down. And I didn't go on board either, which probably did not help. But yeah, look at that. It's going quicker than I expected. A lot of these guys have got to think of a wake-up call. So Valor has been on those tyres for 1 lap. Sleeps though. Sleeps has been the loser there. He is on the mediums, which he shouldn't be. But he thinks, he's like, oh yeah, I could do that, no problem. But if you go on board with Sleeps, yeah. Just being on the softs, my friend, is not the best idea, I've got to say. But at least he is trying his best. So fair play to him, fair play to him. He is going to try to see if he can make it to the end of this race. So let's hope for that, shall we? Let's hope for that. And with the DRS disabled time, which was the sign where everybody was pretty much waiting for that sign, I was as well, to see what we needed to do, because otherwise we would have probably had our plans changed if it was raining too hard. Luckily the rain avoided us, but it started when we went back, so yeah, in a way that was really, really good timing. And that's what the drivers need to think about, good timing. Meanwhile, Cryptic is on a league of his own right now in the pit lane. So the undercut strategy, unfortunately, is probably not going to work here, but it could work in the dry situation. And I'm just going to get myself another drink. I'll be with you guys in a little bit. Okay, well, welcome back, guys, to the Canadian Grand Prix here today. And as you can see, it's turned down into the damp stage pretty early at the moment. And we are at an interesting predicament. It was around about lap 18 last week when the rain started coming down. So it's very early for these drivers. These drivers was not expecting that. It is a rerun from last week because obviously there was some lobby issues last week. Just as a little bit of a recap. Meanwhile, we've got Nixana and Terrible Bob. They were going from moving. Nixana is looking quite racy. Obviously a lot faster. I would like, if possible, to potentially see the lap times and all this. That will be pretty good. Nixana's ERS on 30. Now you'll be saving a lot more ERS in the wet than in the dry. So that is something to think about. So you're able to push a bit as someone's gone off. That was Terrible Bob, who's had a really good start. And he's got... Well, to be honest, it's impossible to tell if he's got damage or not through that. I don't have a clue. I literally do not have a clue. And it's getting worse. And the question is, when is it going to dry up for these guys? It dried a bit before the end, around about lap 26, 7. So it might do the same here again. But you never know with Cody's. It's always different with every lobby you go to. Bitto is down in 8th place due to that pit stop. He was a bit worried. But obviously with those fresher tyres, it has really helped him. Bitto's just pitted. So he had damage as well whilst I was getting a drink. So I think that was the case, I think. Let me just have a look. No, I don't want to check my assists. I want to check the race director and go on to pit stops once again. So sleeps. No, I'm going to ignore him. Paddock had a front wing change. Terrible Bob had a front wing change. Set had a front wing change. And Bitter and Paddock had a front wing change. Ooh. So it must have been contact there. So that's why he was forced to pit when he did. I guess he didn't want to, because otherwise he would have been in exactly the same situation as what the other guys were. Some Bitto fans are probably going to be very gutted that that's probably happened, but, you know, let us know who you're supporting in chat. Obviously, I'm not allowed to show any bias in any way. So, please don't ask me who I support, because I support everyone. I support everybody in Tier 2. I want them to achieve their full potential here at ERS and make sure they get the best results possible. And we are seeing Xana going to get some very good points for AlphaTauri if he does not become complacent. He's on plenty of ERS as well. He can save when he's trying to defend, where there's some other people where they can't save and defend. It's just not like that right now. So for some of them that's going to be an issue. But for Nixana, it's going to be alright. Now he's on 72%. 69, 70. Now we're going back to 80 again. So yeah, it doesn't use that much in the wet. Kalissa, let me have a look at his. 32%. So he's out. But usually he's going to overtake too much. But I'm guessing he wants to make sure that he pulls away from the rest of the pack. Which is fair enough. As Cryptic has just started lap 19. Just look at the gap between first and second place. 8.1 second. That is just absolutely astonishing to say for Cryptic. One of the best drivers around there in ERS Tier 2 that's going to give Bitto definitely a run for his money. To be honest, that's one of the main reasons why I'm in the commentary box and not racing. Because I would be way down the bottom. Way down the bottom. And times like these always go on my mind on how a race was like without no DRS. We are seeing some glimpses of that right now, but I'll need to double check on that one, on when DRS was invented. I think it was 2013-14. It might have been after that. If someone could check out for me, that would be brilliant. Because obviously there's not much happening on the circuit right now. I think the only changes we could see is when the track starts to dry up a little bit more. And I've got to say, I hope people in the grandstands have got their umbrellas sorted and stuff like that, because obviously they're going to need one. When I was out yesterday, my dad was an idiot and forgot to put a coat on. When it was pretty cold yesterday, but however it was bearable. It was bearable. And I've just got a confirmation that DRS was first invented in 2011. 2011. Ooh. That is intriguing. And we are seeing a few people getting lapped already. I wonder how Bob is going to handle this one. I'm sure Bob's going to get a radio message saying, "Bob, Bitto is faster than you." So we've already got 2 retirements so far of Sleet and Bert. I swear I thought it was 2013, but 2011, that is a very long time. A very long time. So Bitto is now in 6th place and he's going to try and challenge for the race victory here in Canada. Has it with a 3-second time penalty with multiple warnings. So we are seeing some corner cutting penalties. I've got to say it's corner cutting central here. But anyway, I would like to say thanks to James for the raid with 5 people watching. And for those of you that have just joined me and wondering what the heck is going on, this is a race I'm commentating for European Racing Series. We're on lap 21 at the moment, and it is an interesting race. Changing conditions race, to say the least, for these guys. It started off dry, and it went to inters very, very quickly. Like, as soon as the rain come down, which I didn't even know, the first thing I heard was, "Oh, DRS disabled," and I was like, "Oh, that was very, very quick." And then this is what is happening. And then it's going to get overcast and dry at the end. So, a lot of strategy calls for the drivers. And if they mess up the strategy, then that's pretty much game over. And not much battling happening at the moment, but that just gives me a good opportunity to check on penalties. So, penalty time. Oh, no, I always keep doing that. There we go, race director. So, Cryptic, how many penalties does he have? 1 penalty for Cryptic. TX has he has 2 warnings. Kalissa has a penalty and 2 warnings. Nixana has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 penalties and a warning. So that is more than I think anyone at the moment so far. Then we got Ryzen as well, who's got a penalty, well, 2 penalties. Bitto has got 1, 2, 3, 4 penalties. You gotta be careful before you get disqualified. Bob has got 1, 2 penalties and a warning. Valu has got 1, 2, 3, 4 penalties as well. And let me do the final person in the top 10 for now. So that's 1, 2, 2. Okay, that's 2 penalties for him. So TX, I think, being the only one in the top 10 that's clean. So we could be going on for the win here. So watch out for Ryzen though, because Ryzen's made his way up the field. Valu is up into 9th place at the moment, 8 attempts. Now what has happened to Pazik and Set? Set might have had a bit of an issue, as Pazik has a very good move into turn 1. A little bit of a hairpin as well. I do see a bit of the sun trying to come out. I could see a little bit of a peak in the sky. And less rain as well. So are we seeing people thinking about dry tyres? So let me just wait a second. Let's go on board with someone that's having a battle at the moment. Ryzen in 5th. Ryzen started in 10th due to his penalty. And now he's in 5th. He's doing amazing. He could be definitely one of the contenders for driver of the day. That's for sure. And let me just go on board. I think it's stopped. No. There's still a bit of drops in the sky by the looks of things. And on board, obviously, in our camera lenses. So, no sign of rain stopping yet. But there's going to be quite a lot of people checking their jets saying, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You know? That is going to cause a little bit of havoc, I've got to say, for these guys. So, please do watch out for the end of this race, as it's going to be an eye-opener for pretty much everybody in ERS. Don't forget we're at France next week, where it does rain occasionally, but potentially we are not expecting it to rain next week, as we've got someone in the pit. Has it stopped raining quickly? No, it hasn't. I wonder if Sig is meant to do that, or his tyres are completely dead. Well, according to that, his tyres are completely dead. So, Sig is on the inters. And he's going for a 2-swirl, a 3-stop by the looks of things. Bitto is doing the same. So for some of these guys, the inters didn't last as long as we would have liked. So let's check pit stops. So let me check pit stop once again and see if it was front wing change. Nope, it wasn't front wing change for either of those 3. So they were just not liking those intermediate conditions. Now, according to my tyre data that I have on my little spreadsheet, it lasts, let me just have a look. I'll get the spreadsheet up. And Canada, I'm just trying to have a look. Canada, no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. 19 laps the inters last for. And we can see Bitto with those fresher inters deciding and showing that the fresher inters are definitely the right tyres to be on right now. So some of these guys will have to respond to them. And Ixana going ahead just a Bitto, but again, it's going to take a long time for these tyres to warm up, so there's going to be a bit of an issue there. I still see some sun peeking out, not as much as normal though. So only time will tell. And we've had 2 retirements in this race so far, and that was Burke and Sleeps. Burke earlier on, I think it was about lap 3, lap 4 to be precise, that we saw that retirement, and Sleeps was just after he went on to the Inters for the very first time. And sometimes you probably feel quite gutted that you really wanted to do your best on the intermediate conditions, and you're just proving that it's not going the way you planned it, which is a bit of a shame. But let's hopefully the guys that are still left, seeing if they can put up a fight. We can see one of the Haas cars. I think that's Pazit. No, it's not. I thought I saw a Haas car challenging for a move, but I believe that was Sig being lapped. So I thought Sig was going to have a cheeky battle there, but obviously not there. So, rain has stopped in Canada, in Montreal of course, but the track is still damp to go on to the dry tyres, so I'll have to stay on for a little bit longer. Watch out for the DRS enabled sign to take place, and that'll be the call for the majority of the guys to pit, and it will be enough for these guys to go onto the soft compounded tyres. More than enough. Softs last 12 laps. We've got less than 12 laps to go at the Grand Prix. We've got less than that, so they should be absolutely fine. So they can start to push. No safety cars as of yet though, which is something that I'm a bit surprised about, which means they are keeping it a bit cleaner, which is great to see. Nixana getting a 3-second time penalty due to multiple warnings there. And Ben is going into the pit lane. He decided that enough's enough, and he's taking the gamble. Or is he going on another... Oh. Change of front wing, so he has been forced onto the slick strategy. I wonder why he's on the mediums though. I wonder if that was meant to happen, or maybe he's just playing it safe. But it is definite that these softs can go to the end. But maybe he was concentrating a bit more on his optimum pace, I think. And the softs around about 6 laps of crossover points. So that's probably why. Meanwhile, Valu is up into 10th place. Just got past Set. And we can see Bitto really starting to catch up to Nixana. Bitto getting a better entry. Nixana coming off really well actually. But Nixana goes into the pit lane. We're seeing more people take the gamble, but I just don't think it's dry enough. There was still a few sprays, but there's some bits of the track where it is dry, but there's some which is not. So I've got to say, that is going to cause some issues for some drivers. Including... You know, they're going so slowly at the moment. They're not going at the pace I would have thought they would have gone to. And Bitto has already gone past TX. So, and Bitto's on the Inters. So that just goes to show that I think for TX, Bob, Verstappen, Set, Pazik, Meto, Nixana, Bob... These guys, I think it was just 1 lap too early. 1 lap too early, and all of them are showing the full effect right now. And Set is struggling, so let me go on board with him. And he is being lapped by Cryptic And you can see how fast Cryptic is committing to this strategy. I mean, he is doing ever so well to try and keep this lead. 14.5 seconds, and there's Patrick in the wall. Could this cause a safety car? He's got to try and get in the right way. But unfortunately, I think he would have to go into the pit lane. And he will have to change his strategy just a little bit more. But yes, you can see the ones on the inters have overtaken the soft runners. So, for the soft runners, it's a little bit of a kick in the teeth, I've got to say. But just to let you know, guys, we've had no disconnections so far, touch wood. So hopefully we won't see any more. I think it shows that the lobby is a bit more stable. I don't know. I will have to check out on that one. But anyway, Nixana 5 seconds behind Valley now, so he has dropped quite considerably at the moment. Paddock in the pits once again. And I like these types of conditions. And I wonder when we'll see the DRS enabled sign pop up. We may have seen it already and I might not be paying attention, but you can still see the spray. It's not good for any tyre right now, so you gotta make do with what you got, really. And Calissa has also lapped one of the Mercedes offset by looks of things. So everybody from first down to ninth has lapped first down to ninth is on the leading lap, let's just say. On the leading lap. I wonder if people are still going to go for fastest laps, because it's going to be a bit of a gamble if they do that. But again, never say never, as Calissa stays out. So does Cryptic. So does Ryzen. Ryzen's taking a gamble now. He's got to go for the soft. You can see that the pit lane is really dry. You can still see the spray on the tyres, so it could be the right time. If Ryzen nails this strategy call, he could be on course to winning this race, as Ben has retired from the session, and it is a VSC. So where did he die? Let me have a look. So go on board with Sig. I think it was in the pits, which probably is. Or it might be Wall of Champions, but I don't know. But hopefully Ben can potentially tell me what happened there, because that was a little bit weird. I'm really, really sad, unfortunately, about what happened. And despite the fact that he scored so well in the original race, yeah, he's definitely gutted that the restart did happen now, because he was on course for some really good points. And the safety car is now in. So I think for these guys, it's going to be far too late to go on to the softs and make it work. So these guys are going to try and stay on those inters, but they are already on a puncher territory. 19 laps. And there's been no safety car either, so I'm a bit worried. Whereas Bitto, I know, is going to hope that these two guys get punches. So Bitto is going to hold on for as long as he possibly can. So let's see how Bitto does. Don't forget, penalties can decide certain positions in this race and can decide who wins and who loses. It's happening quite a few races that I commentated on this week with a few things actually. As we are starting to see that there's still some spray. And the one on the Insta holding on for dear life. They're gonna hope that the DRS enabled sign does not come up, and it does. So good timing there, Jess. As Bitto, will he go to the pits or will he stay out? He goes into the pits. So is Cryptic. Oh no! Bitto has got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Cryptic is gonna come out in the lead. Quite comfortably, actually, by a big gap. So maybe that is helped Cryptic with that DRS enable sign, because he was able to just boom pit. So the gap now is 15.5 seconds. That is just crazy. I think Cryptic is my driver of the day, but obviously the game is probably gonna give it to somebody else, more than likely. It always gives it to someone else that probably I was not expecting. So it might do the same here, but again, only one way to find out. Meto getting a 3-second time penalty. More time penalties are coming into full fruition, which is a bit of a shame. And we're starting to see some more follows, which is great to see. So thank you very much. I'll check the follows in a second. And we're on the last lap now. So we're not seeing any battles. So I think this could be the positions that will be like at the end of the race, unless penalties have anything to do with it. Ryzen will comeback drive though. Ryzen definitely driver of the day for me, one of the contenders for driver of the day, because he was on pole, then he got a collision penalty thing, and then he's up into second. His strategy has fallen into place here, and a few of these guys are going to be getting the fastest laps with it as well. So Cryptic is doing all he can. He's doing absolutely fantastic at the moment. He is going to close in the championship by quite a bit to his rival Bitto. On track, Cryptic wins in Canada. He's weaving all over the place. It's great to see. And we got Ryzen and Bitto having a little bit of a battle then, going into the final corner. As they touch a little bit, that might not have helped, but I think it may be too little too late unless Bitto has less penalties. Ryzen gets P2, Bitto P3. Bitto had a lot of penalties there, gosh. And we've got Kalissa that takes the final podium spot due to Bitto's penalty. And oh yeah, I just forgotten, Bitto had a 5-second penalty for an unserved. Oh no. And Vale was still on those inters and has beaten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 soft runners. Fair play, Valu. Good job. Nixana comes across the line in 7th. Then we got Bob. And then Meto is going to get some points, which is fair play to him. So for some of these guys, they're going to be really happy. And for some of these guys, they are going to be a little bit disappointed. I think Meto is going to be disappointed, I think. And Bitto said in the chat that he's been finding it fun. Well, I'm glad you found it fun. And it's given driver of the day to Ryzen. And I've got to say, for a while, I think I've got to agree with them. Ryzen, astonishing today. And obviously our race winner, Cryptic, did what he needed to do. Absolutely dominated. And sometimes you have fun even if you're not first. And that is what Bitto has shown us today. That was with me in Monaco a few seasons ago in ILR. I was not in the points, but I still had a lot of fun battling. It was great. So, let's have a look at your results. Cryptic wins from Ryzen in second. Kalissa third. Bito 4th, TX 5th, Valu 6th, Bob 7th, Nixana 8th, Meto 9th, Set rounds up your top 10. And then we got Pazik, Sig, and your non-finishers for Stabman, Sleets, and Burke. And the fastest lap goes to Ryzen with a 1:10.962. Well done to him, and well deserved. And he gets not just 18 points, but 19 points. So that has been the end of the Canadian Grand Prix. The actual Canadian Grand Prix for European Racing Series Tier 2 this time. It's been a lot of fun. I'm going to be raiding someone next, so make sure that you join our raid command. The team I'm in at VSR has got our first stream on right now, and it's only fair that I raid them. Well, raid the person who's streaming on for us right now. It is Badgerman, of course. So make sure you join the raid. That'll be amazing. It'll be their first raid on the channel. That is great, isn't it? Oh, good to start the raid, won't it? But anyway, thanks for listening. We will see you next week for the French Grand Prix. I think it's the French Grand Prix. Make sure you join the raid, guys. Have a good evening. And we will see you soon. And remember to stop the stream next time. Bye!